We've talked a lot about connections between key details in informational texts. Today we're going to move into how text features support the key details in a scientific text. So we're going to be looking at something called text features, and we'll be talking about how they support those key details. We have talked a little bit about text features, but we're really focusing on them today. So again, we're looking at scientific texts, which you know is a text that gives information about a scientific topic. And we're going to be looking at something called text features. Text features give us more information and they support our key details. So, like I said, text features support the information in the text. They give you extra information. So, it's not part of the text a lot of the time. Sometimes it's something extra on the side. So you might have a caption under a picture. Captions are words underneath or beside illustrations or photos that explain what the picture or the illustration is about. You might have a graph, which is a visual way to show and compare information. You might have a diagram, which is a drawing or a picture that shows parts of something or explains how it works. You might have a heading, which is a word or a short phrase that tells the topic or main idea of a section. So headings are kind of like little titles for sections of a text. You might see a map in a text, which is a drawing of part of the Earth's surface that shows its features or where things are located. Maps are really cool when we see them in text because then it gives us a better idea about where something is happening or where something is located. You might have an illustration or a photo, which is an artist's drawing or a camera picture that shows what something in the text looks like. You might have a sidebar, which is a box of text on the side of the page that gives extra information about the topic. We saw one of those last week when we read about ice cream. You might have a timeline, which is a type of graph that shows the order of events over time. So we're going to be diving into this text called Butterflies Are Back, and we'll be looking for the connections, like we've been doing, the connections between the key details, and we're also going to be looking for some text features. Remember, your text features are these extra things that give us more information about the text. Monarchs on the Move is the title. Can you find the monarch butterfly on the cover? Monarch butterflies make an amazing trip every year. So looking at this picture, these are monarchs. Do you see the monarch on the front cover? Yep, there he is right there. It's a beautiful sunny summer day. You look up into the sky. You see a bright orange and black monarch butterfly fluttering by. You turn around and see another and another. Soon the sky is full of monarchs. Where did these beautiful butterflies come from? So I'm already seeing some sequence words here. I see that soon the sky is full of monarchs. When is this happening? You probably said on a sunny summer day. So this is in the summer. Right away, I see my first text feature. We have a heading right here. Now this heading tells me that this section is going to be about it being too cold for butterflies. To answer that question, we need to go back in time. The butterfly's story started almost a whole year ago. So now we're going back in time a year, and this is showing sequence. Last autumn, the weather started getting colder. So when did it get colder? Last autumn. The monarch butterflies couldn't stick around in the cold weather. They needed to go somewhere warmer. So they migrated. They traveled thousands of miles to a new home. So, why did they migrate? Yes, they migrated because the weather's getting colder and it's too cold for them. And here's another text feature right here, a bold word. And if I'm not sure what migrated means, there's actually some context clues in the text. They traveled thousands of miles to a new home. So what does migrate mean? It means to travel to a new home. Winter in a tree. So what do you think this section's going to be about? Probably about them spending the winter in a tree, right? The butterflies flew south all the way to Mexico. There they landed on a tree trunk. They could finally rest. They stayed on the trees all winter. These trees make a perfect winter home for monarch butterflies. These words, all winter, tell me more about sequence. How long did they stay there? They stayed the whole winter. And if I look up here, more text features, there's a photograph of these monarchs, so now I can definitely visualize this happening better. And there's also a caption explaining the picture. Monarch butterflies huddle together on a tree. The tree stretches up into the sky. Now, without these two things, this picture and this caption, I would have a hard time visualizing this happening. So now I have a better understanding of what it actually looks like. This caption says flying, or this heading says flying north. What do you think this section's going to be about? Probably about them going back north, right? Winter turned into spring. The weather got warmer back up north. It was time to migrate again. The monarchs flew back north. This time they stopped along the way. They laid their eggs on milkweed plants. Those eggs hatched into caterpillars, and the caterpillars were hungry. They munched on the milkweed plants. They ate and ate. Soon they went through a metamorphosis. They grew and changed until they were adult butterflies. Those adults flew north. They flew and flew. They laid eggs on milkweed plants. Those eggs hatched and turned into butterflies too. This happened over and over again. Spring turned into summer. Finally, some adult butterflies made it to the northern parts of the United States. They had reached their summer home at last. There's a lot of sequence in this section. Can you point out any of the sequence words? You probably said you saw winter turned into spring. So when is it now? Now it's spring. The word soon is here, saying soon they went through a metamorphosis. What is a metamorphosis? Well, it's when they grow and change. And here we have spring turned into summer. And also, finally. This section's called Summer Vacation, and I know that because the heading says Summer Vacation. What do you think this section's about? It's probably about summer, right? And now that brings us back to those butterflies filling up the sky. Those butterflies will stick around all summer. They will rest on colorful flowers and flutter by on warm summer breezes. They will enjoy the summer sun until the weather starts to get cold in the autumn. Then they will need to migrate south and start the whole big trip all over again. Looking down here, I have another really important text feature. I have a map. Monarch migration. The map shows some of the different paths monarch butterflies take when they migrate north and south. So if we look at the map, we can see the red lines are the autumn path of monarch butterflies, and we can see it's all going south. And how do I know that's south? Down is south because I'm looking over here. And I can see south is on the bottom. And then green is showing the spring path of the monarch butterflies, and they're going north. So this map is really cool because it's giving me more information about the butterflies' migration and where they're going and where they're located. You're going to be answering a discussion question today about these text features. And actually, I want to go back up here because we left one out. It's a picture of a butterfly, and he's on a plant. What kind of plant is that? It's a milkweed plant, and you probably figured that out by looking at the caption. If I look at the picture, I might have trouble deciding what it is, but if I look at the caption, it will tell me what the picture is. So a butterfly rests on a milkweed plant. So these photographs and this map and these captions really helped me visualize better what was going on in the text. And this map gave me a much better idea of where the butterflies were going when they were migrating. Pick out your favorite text feature. You're going to be writing about it again in your discussion post today.